Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hello Monday. So good to be here. I want to start off by acknowledging today is Juneteenth. It is a federal holiday, and as I just refreshed my memory by looking at my Wikipedia page, it commemorates the anniversary of when a general in Texas signed an order officially freeing all enslaved peoples, and it happened actually 2.5 years after Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. So it's just staggering to think about how fast news travels today, but back in the 1800s, and for probably various other, political agendas, it took 2.5 years. So yes, happy Juneteenth. It is June 19th, and we had a really good weekend, a very fun weekend actually. On Friday, a friend and I, well, Andrew and I, and a couple friends, her and her husband, went to see the Janet Jackson concert, the Together Again tour. It was here in an amphitheater near where I live, and oh my goodness, it was so fun. Let me just gush for a minute before I get to the question of the day. I'm a huge Janet Jackson fan. I have been ever since I was 9, 10 years old. I've seen every tour with the exception of the Breakthrough Tour. I don't know how I missed that back in 2016, 2017. I think it's because I had seen her up close and personal, kind of unplugged tour. Prior to that, it celebrated her number one hits. I was kind of disappointed. I think maybe I was in the minority. I refreshed my memory about her tours, and it was very critically acclaimed and received. But I, in part, like Janet because of her productions. And that was a very stripped down, intentionally stripped down performance. She didn't have a lot of background dancers or sets. And although I do believe she does have a strong vocal talent, I think her dancing and choreography and showmanship are what carry the day. So, yeah, that was just my opinion, but she's a phenomenal talent, and this tour, Together Again, was amazing. It was a true gift to the fans. She was not promoting any new album, so it was all of her classic hits, and she delivered. So that was super fun. Hi, Jack. Hi, Donna. Thank you for joining me today. I'm just chit chatting a little bit about my weekend. And then Saturday, Andrew and I, even though I had a little bit of a concert hangover, not from drinking or anything, but just being out and, in that environment, it was pretty crazy. We went to a farmer's market, and that was fun. Get some fresh produce. And then we had a grocery pickup after that. And then we were home for the weekend. We just relaxed, watched the Giants games. They were away at the Dodgers and they swept. And I don't know if you're a Giants fan or not, but the game on Saturday was record breaking. I want to believe it was. Yeah, that was the game. 15-0. I'm speechless about that. So those were really fun games to watch. And yeah, it was just a great weekend. Put in the comments below what you've been up to. How was your weekend? I'm glad that it's cool here in the Bay Area right now. We're not getting hit with many even 90-degree temperatures. For June, that's pretty crazy. So happy about that as well. I'm going to go ahead. I checked the comments and I didn't see any. So I'm going to dive into the question of the day. Andrew, my husband, is in the chat box and he heard me. Probably he's in the office next door. Probably heard me talking about the Janet Jackson concert. And there was one little teeny tiny issue, but I blame it more on the venue and maybe ourselves for not planning because we were warned. So 30,000 people in an amphitheater in Mountain View, which is a suburb of the Bay Area, was, hey Donna, great. I'm glad you're here live. And I'm glad you have today off. Traffic was a nightmare, just put it that way. We missed the entire opening act, which was ludicrous. I didn't mind missing that. But we did miss the first 3 songs of Janet. We missed her opening, which I have now watched online. So at least I saw what I missed. I did not miss the best. So, but that was a bummer. The traffic was insane. And it boggles my mind how after having concerts at this venue for literal decades, that they don't have a better system worked out. Traffic is traffic, but even the people they had guiding, like one woman told us to go in the completely wrong direction. So I just at one point had to pull a U-turn and kind of get a little mavericky because if we would have, listened to what we were being told, we probably would have missed half the show. So yeah, that was the only down part, but I'm not going to focus on that because it was a great show and lesson learned. If we ever go to another concert there again, we will be there like 2 or 3 hours ahead of time, which is what we should have done. And I never thought that we would have to do that, but that's what happened. So enough with that. Let me go on and get the question of the day. I'm always like, so excited to see what these questions are going to be. Okay, a blue one. Let's see. A TV show I secretly enjoy. Yeah, it asks, what is a TV show that I secretly enjoy? They're probably kind of getting at, what's your guilty pleasure television? Guilty pleasure television. Well, I do not really like reality TV. I had a friend stay with me for a while, and when she got me to watch Love is Blind, sucked me in, and I watched it when she was here because I knew she enjoyed it, and it was something fun we could do together. But I have not watched it on my own. Nope, I never watched The Hills. I never watched 90210. And so I would say for me now, guilty pleasure television is probably TV that other people would find annoying, which I don't know. Golden Girls, I love watching. I've talked about this before. I like watching, old 90s and 80s sitcoms. So Family Ties, Frasier, Seinfeld. Oh, I have Tool Time on TVT. I watched that. Yeah, that's kind of my guilty pleasure, and maybe it's only guilty pleasure because Andrew does not enjoy watching any of those shows. And I wonder if I have any guilty pleasure on YouTube. No, I don't think so. I'm kind of boring that way. Maybe a square. I don't know how do you say. What's the cool way to say boring or straight laced, Andrew? Yeah, I don't know. So there's a homesteader I watch on YouTube, Acre Homestead. But I don't know. I don't think that's guilty pleasure. She's pretty cool. I learned stuff. Like watching animal content, anything with dogs, golden retrievers, puppies. Yeah. If I think of anything after this replay, I'll put it in the comments below. But as of right now, I can't really think of any true guilty pleasure TV. Andrew's asking, what about the Squirrel Channel? Okay, maybe that counts. There was a family who put up a live stream of squirrel nests in their yard. And I did watch that. That would probably be guilty pleasure. It was so cute, though. Mama squirrel with her little babies, and they did a really good job of having the cameras where they were not obstructing or dangerous to the nest. Very responsible about it. And they made a point of saying that this was kind of a wilderness nature observatory, granted in their own private space on their private property, but they didn't interact with the squirrels. So that was kind of cool. What about you guys? Put in the comments if you have would World Channel, would that be Rocky and Bullwinkle? I think you're using auto to text or auto to type, so it's not coming through. But are you saying that you like Rocky and Bullwinkle? Yeah, I could see that. That's probably guilty pleasure. I think any cartoons for an adult would be guilty pleasure. I just the other day watched a clip of the Flintstones, and the scene was, if I can find it again, I'll put it in the description because it's pretty hilarious. And the point of the clip was somebody was saying, as a kid, this totally went over my head, but now the thing with some Flintstones episodes or scenes was, there was very much an adult innuendo. So this clip was about Fred um, judging a talent contest, and the woman calls the house, and Wilma answers, and the pageant goer is giving Wilma her measurements. So, like 24, 36, 48, I don't know. And it's a whole scene. And then they kind of do Betty and Fred's interaction about this. And it's pretty classic. So, the Muppets, that too. I guess that would be guilty pleasure because I enjoy the Muppets. And I'll watch Muppets clips um, on YouTube. I think the name Andrew was Delmarva, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you look that up on Google or on YouTube, Delmarva's squirrel cam, you'll find that. And those were the squirrel families that I watched. So yeah, that was today's answer, and kind of a little short and sweet. I'm trying to think. I've been editing, which is good, and I have 2 that I'm in the process. I decided to go ahead and just make a video of my sister's visit and kind of make it a little highlight of popular tourist places in California. So that's coming. And I've also got some kitchen videos. So I made some gluten-free banana bread, and I've got my butter chicken video. So, editing, and I've been playing with shorts. I've been liking shooting shorts because they're quick to edit. And the thing of it also, I should mention here, I really try to, well, I do. I caption all my videos. So I should say I finally caught up on all these lives too. And captioning takes a long time. Auto captioning on YouTube has gotten way better than it used to be. But even a video I was just editing, I was talking about chocolate chip cookies, and it thought I said toxic cookies. So it's not perfect. And it doesn't do punctuation at all. And sometimes I hire help through a service, and sometimes I do it myself. But either way, it's either, time or money. But I'm going to do it. I just feel way too passionate about inclusivity, and it really, really, really bothers me who creators who have way more resources, even some disabled ones, who don't freaking, caption their videos officially. It just drives me crazy. But I'm committed to doing it, and that's why it takes some time sometimes. And also, back to the shorts, why I like shorts, because they're short. And so you automatically caption them because you're putting text on the screen, but also they're just short format. The longer the format, you produce, the more there is to caption, and that just takes more work. So I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining, but there is that factor. So, oh no, that's okay. Yeah, Donna's saying that her screen froze, and so she'll catch me on the replay, and that's cool. I know that this is a busy time for folks. A lot of people are still at work, so as I've said before, 4 p.m. is just what works for me. But I do appreciate you watching, coming live if you can, watching on the replay, commenting, liking, all the things. Any way that we can interact is amazing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out this video, and I will see you next Monday, if not before, through some more posts. So hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good week wherever you are. I always wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.